Have you ever wondered whether you have what it takes to become a creator or an entrepreneur? Do you feel attracted to the idea of being free to do what you want and how to do it, when to do it, but you're not so sure about your ability to pull it off? If that is the case, then sit tight, because this is exactly what I've been dealing with lately, and I will take you through my own process for dealing with these kind of self-doubts. Hello everyone, I'm Chris, and as I've alluded to in the beginning of the video, I am right now taking my very first steps towards becoming an entrepreneur or a creator, however you want to call it. And it does get quite overwhelming at times, so I've had to figure out how to deal with these kinds of worries, anxiety, overwhelm. But let's start at the beginning. I did have this kind of notion that I do want to give my best to becoming an entrepreneur sooner or later, because I have felt quite drawn towards this, and I knew that I would just blame myself if I did not give it my best. I realized that there's no time like the present, well, not in my present circumstance anyway, and decided that I will make a serious effort towards pulling it off as an entrepreneur or a creator. After a while, I realized that at the moment it makes the most sense for me to aim for becoming an ocean creator and an ocean consultant, supporting this with creating and starting my own YouTube channel, as I'm doing right now, to kind of help build my brand and my credibility. And then I went to planning my first steps. Obviously, those were getting the sort of lay of the land, like mapping out the competition, understanding what my potential customers might be dealing with. So I started following Notion creators on Twitter, on YouTube, watching their guides, or even reading their blogs. And this is kind of where the overwhelm kicked in. Looking at the sheer amount of top quality free resources available on the internet, I seriously started to doubt my own ability to ever make a dime in face of this much competition. Why should anyone ever pay me for something I create when there's just so much higher quality content available there anyway? Couple this with the fact that I actually need to start making money from this in like a short to mid-term, and you've got quite some anxiety brewing. However, I've been able to start realizing that this is what I came for, this is what I want, and chances are, if you're watching this video, this is exactly what you want too. We don't want predictability, we don't want feeling too comfortable and being told what to do. We want to make this on our own, and that also means that there are no guarantees of success. The famous anthropologist Joseph Campbell, the author of The Hero with a Thousand Faces, said that if the path in front of you is clear, it's probably the path of someone else. You know, I think that's exactly right, because handling these feelings of uncertainty, that's a necessary prerequisite of actually becoming entrepreneur, a creator, someone who does create order out of chaos. It's exactly in learning how to deal with this kind of uncertainty and anxiety that I will grow. And you too, if you decide to do so. It's exactly in navigating these feelings and this unpredictability that we can practice this core skill of entrepreneurs and creators. Another point that I realized was that this space hopefully rewards authenticity. It's impossible for anyone else to have exactly the same set of experiences, skills, opinions that I have, and that means that I can have my own unique voice, which will appeal to my own unique audience. Of course, there will be huge overlaps, but I can bring something new to the table, even though if it's something that's been covered so thoroughly, like productivity, learning, knowledge management, stuff like that, still I can provide some unique value, and that's reassuring. The key will be identifying how I can be unique and learning how to communicate this unique perspective and how to leverage this unique perspective that I hopefully have. However, the idea that brings me the most comfort is something different. There's this famous quote, "What would you do if you knew you could not fail?" I mean, the idea behind it is probably good. It's meant to help you move past your fear and think about what you would be doing if fear was not a problem for you. However, Seth Godin put it best when he said that this idea, this quote, is exactly backwards. We should not be asking what we would do if we knew we could not fail. A more interesting question is, what would you do if you knew you will fail for sure? What would be inherently worth it and why? And here it's clear. By becoming a creator, I am forced to crystallize my thinking and really elaborate my ideas in a way that's understandable to others, and that itself is a massive shift. Already I can feel a very different approach to the content that I'm consuming. Now it's no longer learning just in case. It's much more about learning just in time. It's about thinking of ideas about which I have something to say, things about which I have some value to provide, and really concentrating all my learning efforts around these sort of attractors, and then, packaging them and presenting them in a way that's accessible and hopefully interesting and valuable for whoever is watching these videos. Before, all my consumption would basically be centered around cataloging information. I would just, tag this belongs here, it's this kind of resource, this kind of area, and it's still very valuable, but it should not be the end, I think, because it's still quite passive. I would feel very active when I would take notes on some scientific article and feel like, wow, I am now really creating and really note making. No, only when I shifted my mindset, my intention to actually creating content meant for being watched by something else, that's where I really started engaging these ideas more actively. And this shift from consumption to creation makes all my learning more fun, more engaging, which in turn also makes the learning more effective. And of course, my learning is not even limited to learning about the things that I then end up making videos about. As my very own feelings of being overwhelmed by the sheer amount of content that's available on the internet demonstrate, I also need to learn how to attract audience to my content. I need to learn about video production, about marketing, about copywriting, about making this content as engaging and as accessible to whoever I consider to be my target group. And I also need to learn how to become a person who's able to do all this work on a regular basis. Already I can feel that by deciding that I am going to make this effort, it will require a lot of me, and I will be forced to kick all of my habits into higher gear so that I'm as effective, as productive, as disciplined as possible. And I really enjoy that. I really am looking forward to seeing where this journey will take me. And the best part is that all of this is completely under my control. It's not a matter of luck, not a matter of someone permitting me to learn. How much I learn is just a function of how smart I am in approaching it and how much work I put in. And if I do put in the work, then results will arrive. Maybe not necessarily the results I envision right now, like, making money from YouTube and Notion creating, but there will be results that will be very much worth it. Of that, I am sure. In short, becoming a creator or an entrepreneur is about much more than about making a living doing something I enjoy. It's about hands-on learning and about getting much closer to being who I want to be. And all of this would be very much worth it, even if I were to fail. I can always make money somehow, even if it was some kind of job that I felt was not really developing me, but I will make it somehow, and I can keep doing this part-time. But the hands-on learning and feeling like I am going after my calling, so to speak, like I am getting closer to who I want to be, that's invaluable. And with this comforting realization in mind, I can just focus on creating a plan, crafting a routine for implementing it, refining both of these over time as I bumble along, not knowing where I will end up, but knowing that in the end it will be very much worth it. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you back next time.